This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
Congress finally shake hands. DMK agrees to give Congress 63 seats.
Enna formula workout aayirukku solunga.
Enna formula na winning formula.
Congress will get 61 seats from the DMK and a seat each from the PMK and IUML. EC tells the Madras High Court election dates cannot be changed as it will disrupt election procedure for the other 4 states. Meanwhile, the election plans for the opposition parties is nearing a closure. AIADMK is likely to sign a deal with the left soon. Madras High Court grants interim anticipatory bail to Minister Jagat Rakshakan's children in a corruption case. And cricket stadiums in India on high alert after ALT reportedly threatened to blow up World Cup venues. Security tightened in MA Chidambaram Stadium.
And we also stationed some of our security vans with cameras mounted on them at strategic places.
A very good evening. You're watching the news tonight with me, Vidya. Let's also bring you the news making national headlines. Apex Court questions the government over the status report on Hassan Ali and suggests the case move over to the CBI. Kapil Sibal says there are differences in telecom industry and the need of the hour is to resolve these issues together. Moves to enforce a no-fly zone over Libya gather pace as Gaddafi's forces launch fierce attacks on areas held by rebels. After ticking off MS Dhoni for criticizing, the ICC is forced to tweak the controversial 2.5-meter rule in the DRS. Well, after all the political footsie the DMK and Congress have been playing, they have finally kissed and made up and will go to the Tamil Nadu Assembly elections as partners. The DMK and Congress deal is finally settled after days of intense standoff. With the Congress getting its way, the DMK has agreed to give Congress the 63 seats it wanted. Sources are indicating now that one seat will be taken away from the PMK and one seat from the Indian Union Muslim League, the IUML, which will be officially confirmed soon as well. PMK was allotted 31 seats earlier by the ruling DMK and the IUML was granted 3 seats and 1 seat will be taken now away from each of them. Well, Chief Minister Karunanidhi has come out saying it's a happy day for him now that they have reached a seat-sharing agreement. He says it's the example of sacrifice and affection between parties.
திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகத்திற்கு 171 தொகுதிகள், காங்கிரஸ் கட்சிக்கு 63 தொகுதிகள், பாட்டாளி மக்கள் கட்சிக்கு 30 தொகுதிகள், விடுதலை சிறுத்தைகளுக்கு 10 தொகுதிகள், கொங்கு நாடு முன்னேற்ற கழகத்திற்கு 7 தொகுதிகள், இந்திய யூனியன் முஸ்லீம் லீக்கிற்கு 2 தொகுதிகள், மூவேந்தர் முன்னேற்ற கழகத்திற்கு ஸ்ரீதர் பாண்டியாருடைய அந்த இயக்கத்திற்கு 1 தொகுதி, இப்படி 284 தொகுதிகள் இன்றைக்கு வகுத்து வழங்கப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. இது இடையிலே ஏதோ இழுபறி தயக்கம் என்றெல்லாம் நிலை இருந்தாலும் கூட அந்த நிலையை நம்முடைய அன்புக்குரிய பத்திரிகையாளர்கள் பல பேர் மிக மிக கேவலமாக ஆத்திரத்தோடு பொறாமையோடு அசூயை மனப்பான்மையோடு இந்த அடி உருவாகக்கூடாது, உறவு ஏற்பட்டுவிடக்கூடாது என்ற எண்ணத்தால் தவறான செய்திகளை, திசைதிருப்புகின்ற செய்திகளை நம்முடைய கழகத்தோழர்கள் களைப்படையக்கூடிய அளவுக்கு செய்திகளை வெளியிட்டார்கள். அவர்களுக்கெல்லாம் நல்ல பதிலாக இன்றைய நாள் நான் சொன்ன இந்த எண்ணிக்கை அமைந்திருக்கிறது என்று நான் கருதுகின்றேன்.
Well, it was the Congress in charge in Tamil Nadu who came out first with the message that the DMK and Congress have saved their marriage. And Alagiri made an interesting comment that they worked out a winning formula.
The alliance is back to power like on earlier occasion. And this is a winning alliance. We have our other partners also. Apart from DMK, Congress, there's PMK, there is VCK, then there's Congo Party, then we have Muslim League. So all put together, this is a winning alliance, and I'm sure that once the elections are through, we shall be able to form the government once again. Thank you.
என்ன ஃபார்முலா வொர்க் அவுட் ஆயிருக்குன்னு சொல்லுங்க சார்.
என்ன ஃபார்முலான்னா வின்னிங் ஃபார்முலா இது.
வின்னிங் ஃபார்முலா. எந்த இடத்துல இப்ப 61 உங்களுக்கு இந்த ரெண்டு சீட் எங்க இருக்கு?
234 தொகுதிகள் 63 இடங்கள் அவங்க இருக்காங்க.
சார்
234 இடங்களில் காங்கிரஸ் 63 இடங்கள் இருக்காங்க. அவ்வளவுதான்.
So the formula and the deal is done there, and here are the final numbers the ruling government will go to polls with. Well, the DMK now, as said by Chief Minister, will contest in 121 seats, and the Congress, with the number they wanted, 63 seats, and the PMK will now contest with 30 seats because they will have to give away 1 seat, the BCK 10 seats, the IUML 2 seats, and the Congo Party 1 seat. 7 seats there. And well, let's take a look at how the DMK party cadres have taken this news.
நாங்களும் காங்கிரஸும் முன்னாடி நண்பர்களாக இருந்தால் இப்போ நண்பர்களாக தான் இருக்கோம். இது வந்து மீடியாக்களை பெருசுப்படுத்தப்பட்ட மீடியாக்கள் மற்ற எதிர்கட்சிகளால பெருசுப்படுத்தப்பட்டது. இதை நாங்கள் பெருசாக எடுத்துக்கல. நாங்கள் இணைந்து கடுமையாக உழைச்சி போன தடவை மாதிரியே பெரிய அளவில் வெற்றியை நாங்கள் தலைவருக்கு சமைப்போம்.
இல்லைம்மா, தலைவர் வந்து முடிவு நல்லா யோசனை பண்ணி தான் முடிவு பண்ணியிருப்பாரு. தலைவர் முடிவு வந்தால் தொண்டரோட முடிவு. தலைவரோட மகிழ்ச்சி தான் தொண்டரோட மகிழ்ச்சி.
5 ஆண்டுகளாக நாங்கள் வந்து அவங்களோட இணைந்து செயல்பட்டிருக்கிறோம். இப்போ அவங்க சேர்ந்துருக்கன்னு சொல்லி இந்த அறிவிப்பு கிடைத்த உடனே மட்டிலால் மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகிறோம். இதனால் நாங்கள் பூரண வெற்றி பெற்று மீண்டும் தலைவர் கலைஞர் அவர்கள் இந்த தமிழகத்திற்கு 6வது முறையாக முதல்வராக வருவார் என்பதில் எந்த சந்தேகமும் கிடையாது.
எங்களுடைய தலைவர் அவர்கள் சாதனை செஞ்சிருக்கிறார். பெற்ற பிள்ளையிலிருந்து கட்டி கொடுக்கும் வரை 60 வயசு வரை சுடுவாடு போக வரை அவர் என்னென்ன சாதனை செஞ்சுக்கோ அத்தனைங்க நாங்கள் மக்களுக்கு சொல்லி நாங்கள் சாதனையை புரிய வைத்து 234 தொழில் வெற்றி வர செய்வோம்.
Congress they are our partners. We will join together. We will work as partners. We will win the maximum. And once again, our Kalaignar will become the Chief Minister of this state, and he will lead. And this Tamil Nadu will become #1 once again in India.
Will you work together?
Yes. Now,
Congress constituencies, will you work for Congress?
We have to get more number of seats. We have to win. Then we won't see it is Congress or it is other parties. All one now. It's a one team. So it's a one team now. We won't have any difference from this time onwards. Before we had some differences. It's all over now. So from this time, we are all one team. We will win. Our Kalaignar will form the government. All the best.
And a senior editor Radhika Iyer, who is joined by our executive editor Sanjay Pinto on whether the Congress had the last laugh, leaving the DMK embarrassed.
Surely it wasn't just about 3 seats, it was much more, and it turned out that the Congress actually managed to get what it wanted. NDTV Hindu's executive editor Sanjay Pinto is with us to share his thoughts. Thanks, Sanjay. As always, your initial thoughts and the reading on the fact that the drama that took place over the last 3 days. Could the DMK have well done without this entire drama, because it anyway gave away 63?
It certainly left a lot of people wondering whether this whole drama lasting 72 hours, Radhika, was actually over 2 seats or 2G. That's the big question on everyone's mind now. But what this effectively means is that the DMK, given the number of seats it's conceded to the Congress, initially the DMK said that they were not going to make any climb down, that they were pretty rigid about that, 60 and no more. But now look at what has happened. They have made that climb down. They've parted with 1 extra seat from their own kitty, 61. They've also, in fact, remember that the IUML is contesting on the DMK symbol. So it's effectively, they've given away 2 seats. And one, of course, a portion from the other ally. So the DMK has made a climb down. The DMK will not be able to contest enough seats to form a government on its own if they are voted back to power. So that minority tag will continue to haunt them. Also, another interesting point, if you the body language there of both Dayanidhi Maran and Mr. Alagiri, Dayanidhi Maran almost prompting Ghulam Nabi Azad there. And I think he got one of the parties also wrong. Ghulam Nabi Azad mentioned actually blurted out TMC, yes. If you notice that. Yes. But clearly it seems all is well in the camp, and which is why Mr. Karunanidhi has issued a statement saying that it's a happy day for him. The other day you were predicting that, you were wondering whether the smiles would last, and apparently they have lasted now. Yes. The big question now, Radhika, is whether power sharing, because now obviously the DMK, if they are voted back to power in a hypothetical situation, cannot really form a government on its own.
Congress may have got 63 seats, Sanjay, but then is it really victory for the Congress party considering the bad blood that they have shared in the last over the last 3 days, and of course over the last 3 months since the 2G scam broke out? It of course will be difficult to get the DMK cadre to vote for the Congress, and of course to work together towards making it indeed the winning alliance like Dayanidhi Maran would wish.
See, this bad blood has been on for almost 5 years. The Congress leaders, even from 2006, have been saying, look, I mean, you're sharing power with us at the center, why can't you share power with us at the state? To which I remember a senior DMK leader, when I was covering the election then, the results then, said that, look, I mean, this is a quid pro quo for what's happening in Puducherry. We will back your government in Puducherry, and you you support us here without really expecting a share in power. Congress leaders, in fact, were infuriated when they heard that analogy, because that's such a small, it's a union territory, all of 30 seats there. And that's been a Congress bastion anyway for years, for decades on end. This time around, if you noticed, both Dayanidhi Maran and Alagiri were quite keen to actually get away from the media after just making the bare, minimum announcements, not really willing to take questions. You saw those journalists trying to ask them about power sharing and from where the other numbers are going to come from, the other 2 seats, from which ally and specifically.
Not clearly giving
and then of course speaking in riddles, which is a typical Karunanidhi style, to speak in riddles when inconvenient questions are asked. So he said that the formula is, out of 234, they are contesting 63. So I think the big question now is whether the DMK has sort of informally agreed to share power in that hypothetical situation of them being swept back, coming back to power.
And still ahead, a woman lives to lead. That's the message NIA is sending out on Women's Day. More when we come back.